Many of you have asked me for an update on NVO stock. The stock is down 45% over the last year. It's actually one of the best performing pharmaceutical stocks of all time, up 25,000%. But the last 2 to 3 years has been terrible for NVO, from $150 per share to $43 per share. And if you remember all the hype around NVO when it was going up to 150, people thought it would never ever go down. And now it's going down and people are complaining and they don't want the stock and it's a terrible company. But it's really funny how the sentiment works in general. Now, to be fair, NVO has been losing massive market share to Lilly in obesity care. It's been absolutely brutal. They also lost some market share in diabetes care, but obesity care against Lilly has been a brutal battle for NVO, and Lilly was taking massive market share until recently. The company has launched the oral GLP-1 pill. They launched it 6 months before Lilly, and I told you guys NVO will likely have much more success because they have a first mover advantage, and once people start taking those pills, they're gonna get used to them and they see more reviews against the Lilly pill. So the Lilly pill isn't gonna do as well. This is exactly what happened. NVO is killing Lilly in terms of the oral GLP-1 pill launch. It's not even close. So this is a major battle that NVO is winning, and it's a step into the right direction. But the best part is their total addressable market is absolutely massive. Over 900 people deal with obesity on a daily basis, and only 1 to 2% of them are actually getting treatment for such things. So I personally believe this is bigger than AI, and it's much more profitable than AI, and people are willing to spend the money to feel better for themselves against maybe, I don't know, learning something or doing something with AI. So this is much bigger than AI. It's much cheaper than AI. And to me, it's a very interesting bet in general. Now, very recently, they got approved in the UK to expand the pills over there, and they're expanding it internationally. And they also got approved for Medicare. So millions of people will be able to access the pill in the United States through Medicare for about $50 a month. So they pay the $50 copay, Medicare covers the rest, they get access to the pill. That didn't happen before, and you had a massive success in the launch of the NVO pill. So the growth here is only getting started. Now, after you've seen all these things and NVO taking market share and all the expansion and the success of the pill, you would believe that the company is growing like crazy. Well, that's not even close. The company is expected to decline in revenues 4 to 12%. They were previously expecting about 5 to 13%. They revised guidance 4 to 12% because of the launch and because of the success. But the company is still expected to decline in revenues. Now, the biggest contributor to that was them cutting prices in the United States to secure the tariff deal with the president and with the administration in general. So in the United States, NVO was charging $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 for those injectable Wegovy's. Now they took it down to like $300. So they cut it by 50 or 70%. Of course, it's going to wait on margins and it's going to wait on revenue growth. And that's going to remain in effect until 2027. After 2027, it will get easier on a comparable basis because you're not comparing $1,600 to, I don't know, $600 or $500. And then, you know, it would start looking much better for the market and for NVO. But many investors are selling it because they're not willing to wait for 2028 or waiting for the picture to get better in general. But there's a massive call option on NVO, which I haven't talked about before, and I didn't even know it existed. But the CEO talked about it recently. It's very interesting to me. And this is them using semaglutide for more than just weight loss, more than just GLP-1s, but potentially for things such as longevity. And longevity, people living longer, aging, anti-aging, and all these things. This is a massive TAM, even bigger than, I would say, GLP-1s and weight loss. And if NVO could figure out anything to help with longevity or anything around this market, I would expect a massive move just like this one over the next few years if they can figure out something. But this is what the CEO said. He said semaglutide may do more than just help patients lose weight. In some studies, NVO has said the drugs protects vital organs, including the heart, liver, and kidney. and that these benefits appear to emerge before patients have lost significant weight. He said, if this is true, that semaglutide slows down a lot of those conditions as a molecule, then maybe, whether we like it or not, we are already in a bit of a longevity game. And he said we're sitting in the middle of fully understanding that, and of course, we're exploring that. So if NVO could do anything with semaglutide to come up with some kind of a drug for aging, protecting organs, or anything, I would expect a massive, massive move on the stock. But even if that doesn't happen, the company still has those patents until 2031, 2032 in the EU and in the United States. I believe they expired in China and India and Canada as well. So there's some competition from the generics over there. But for the big markets, it's not going to expire before 2031 and 2032. So if we look at how much we're paying for this, we're paying about 12 PE, 12 times the earnings for this one. And by the way, I'm using fiscal.ai to come up with those charts. If you want to try it out, they give you 2 weeks of free access if you use my link in the description. But 12 PE for that is really not bad at all, in my opinion. And you're also getting paid a dividend while you wait for this to play out. So the dividend is about 4.1%, and it's covered by a free cash flow yield. So the dividend's actually about 4.2%. The free cash flow yield is 4.7%. So the free cash flow covers the dividend. And again, this is like compressed free cash flow due to them cutting prices. So it should start getting better over the next year or two. And they said the dividend is a priority. So I don't believe they will be cutting the dividend. And I think the dividend is safe for now. And that was my opinion on NVO. Looks pretty good to me as a risk to reward bet. And you have the call option of something on longevity within semaglutide, which I didn't even know it existed. So that's pretty interesting to me. I hope you enjoyed it. It was not financial advice. If you did enjoy it, please press the like button and maybe consider subscribing. So I'll talk to you in another video.